For those of you struggling with loneliness, remember that God is always with you. And no matter how hard the situation is, no matter how difficult you find yourself in, like, no matter how difficult the situation is that you find yourself in, always remember that God is with you. And being in a season of isolation is not easy. And I can speak from experience because I myself have gone through seasons of isolation and it's been hard. But one thing that I know for a fact is that God is always there. And sometimes we can put ourselves in seasons of isolation because of fear. It can be because of depression or sadness, or sometimes it can be because of, sometimes other people can cause us to be in seasons of isolation because of jealousy, or it can be because of fear, or maybe because of misunderstanding. And so those two reasons are not positive reasons, but when God puts us in a season of isolation, that's a positive. It's for a positive reason. And sometimes it can be because of, he wants to protect us. He's trying to remove us from certain groups of people that we don't need to be around. Sometimes God says, you know what? I'm going to protect you and I'm going to save you and I'm going to take you from this situation and I'm going to remove you from these groups of people and I'm going to bring you just with me. So it's going to be with me and with you. It's just going to be you and it's going to be God. And God does that because he's trying to get your attention. God does that because he wants to grow closer with you. God does that because he wants you to understand better who you are supposed to be in him, and better who he wants you to better understand who he is. So sometimes God will do that, and God will also do that because he also wants you to learn yourself better. And not just that, but God also wants you to be able to pour into yourself. Sometimes you might find yourself in a situation where you're always pouring into everybody else constantly. It's always, I'm going to pour into this person, I'm going to pour into that person, I'm going to pour into all of these different people, but you're not pouring into yourself. And that should not be. You always have to fill your cup back up. Your cup needs to be filled back up through the word, through prayer, through supplication, which is fasting. So sometimes God wants you to be able to spend that time alone with him, to be able to pour back into yourself, to be able to so that when you pour back into yourself, you have a better understanding of how you can pour into others. When you pour back into yourself, you have a better understanding of how to serve the Lord. When you pour back into yourself, you have a better understanding of how to serve others and serve God and serve yourself. So that's why it's so important to remember that when you go into a season of isolation from the Lord, take full advantage of it. And how do you know the difference between you putting yourself there and God putting you there? You have to pray about it. Because sometimes you might think, oh, I've put myself in this season of isolation, but no, it really might be God. So always pray and ask God, how did you get there? How did you find yourself in this season of isolation? And why am I here? And you keep praying and you keep asking him for answers, and he'll answer you. So that's why it's so important to remember to keep your prayer life strong. And sometimes when you're in a season of isolation, it can be hard. It can be difficult. You can feel feelings of fear. You can feel feelings of anxiety. You can feel feelings of depression. You can feel afraid. You can feel confused. There's so many different feelings that you can feel when you're in this season of isolation. But God wants you to remember that he is always there, and there's always a reason and a purpose as to why he's allowed every single thing to happen. So even when you've put yourself in a season of isolation, learn from it. Learn from it. Understand why you've put yourself there. Take the time, spend with God, and ask him, God, Lord, Why did I put myself in this season? Ask him and ask him to give you that answer. So everything that you learn in this season, you can apply to the next season. Everything that you learn in this season, you might be able to empathize with other people. Everything that you've learned in this season, you know certain things you can't go back and repeat because you don't want to go back. You don't want to go back to previous seasons and relive the same bad experiences over and over and over again. So it's so important for us to remember that when we're in our seasons of isolation, learn from it. Take full advantage of this opportunity, of this moment, and learn from it. So I want to encourage you guys that even though the season of isolation might be hard for you, God is always there, and he is your biggest supporter. He is your biggest friend. He is he loves you, and he wants you to know that you're never alone. So even though you feel like you might not have many friends, it's okay because God is always there. It's okay because you're avoiding all of the things, you're avoiding being in a situations where you don't need to be in. Even though you might not have many friends, God is going to be there for you, and at the right time he'll supply the friends that you need. At the right time he'll supply the support system that you need. At the right time he'll supply every single thing it is that you need. So do not get discouraged, and always remember that God is there for you.